to Artie Lang News Center and our expert analysis.
Live at motherfucking 5, over now.
Bombshell tonight.
A white man driving, a stuff in his face.
Artie Lang, Don Ho.
He's gambling on human lives.
Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen May. Breaking news from the Channel 8 newsroom. Eyewitness News has learned that comedian Artie Lang was found dead in his hotel room at the Hard Rock. Lang was in Las Vegas for the taping of the Howard Stern show. The hotel has confirmed his death and says that Lang's girlfriend found his body around 7 o'clock this morning. He was taken to UMC where he was pronounced dead. We are following this breaking story, and we will, of course, update you as new information becomes available.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Look who it is. Artie Lang.
Don't make me break my foot off in your ass!
Yeah. Got it? But Artie Quitter Podcast, becoming the favorite guest on the show, ironically enough, according to Twitter. Everybody puts all their compliments in capital letters when Jackie gets complimented on Twitter.
Is that true?
Yeah, oh yeah. Everybody, especially Stern fans, like wow, stories are great. And believe me, we are trying diligently behind the scenes to get a fucking gig. Agents are getting in the way, but you would not believe how fucking hard it is for me and him to get on stage together. And it's mostly my fault because I had no idea. I said,
well, you're trying to get us a gig, and I'm trying to find myself an act.
I said to Jackie.
Now, you are a pain in the ass.
I said to Jackie, no, wait, we have to discuss because us together. Jackie's the most organized motherfucker on the planet. I think so. The attention to detail. And
now, wait a minute. Now that you said that, I got to throw this. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you just said I'm the most detailed guy.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, so the obvious thing, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, not to point any fingers.
Right. I'm the missing link. Well, no. Yeah, listen, I'm the opposite, so this is truly like, again, but, Jack's reputation from the show is like he's a drinker, a sloppy body. That's not the truth. That's very calculated. This man's a showman, and a master showman at that. I'm getting calls about, what side of the stage I want to stand on when I'm being introduced. Too much. So
now, can I throw in the truth? Feel like we have a date almost ready to announce. I have no, this is back 2 months ago, 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I have the balls to say to Artie, it's a Friday night. Do you want to start at 8 or do you want to make it 9 o'clock so that people have time to get home from work? That's his version of I want to know what fucking side of the stage.
Okay, no. Okay. That was the 52nd text, though.
I can attest to that.
Thank you. Nowadays we have stuff that's saved. We don't destroy the evidence. In a way, I was frustrated because I guess maybe I should.
No. Are you saying that's saved? Just like my voicemail that says, Jackie, stop being an asshole. Start promoting the gig. It's a done deal. Start promoting it. Right. Thank fucking God I didn't promote
this
it.
Is not. I am so disorganized that I didn't realize I had gigs the night of the show.
Yeah,
I did. Look, this new system,
one detail.
Yeah, the one. Jackie asked every question except Art. You don't have anything else to do that night.
Like an idiot, I assumed that maybe that was a free night. If you said yes.
Art, listen, I was an asshole. I assumed you didn't have another stand-up show that night. And I did. It was supposed to be November 4th in Staten Island, and then my road manager calls me up and goes, Art, no, there's a conflict. I said, don't give me that bullshit where within 30 days I can't do another gig.
No, that radius thing.
Within 30 minutes, Art. It's that night.
Jesus.
So I actually had another show that night at a theater down in South Jersey, so I can't. November 4th, we couldn't do Staten Island, the St. George Theater, right? In Staten
Island.
Yes,
Jim Steen, I apologize to you for me and for Artie.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
No, who cares?
Well, it's clearly my fault.
I'm thrilled that you still want to do it. I still think it's going to be great.
Again, the self-deprecating thing is not working. You're not thrilled to be doing a show with me.
All right.
You're aggravated about it.
You're being selfish.
I'm thrilled to be
All right,
doing
I'm going to throw this in. Thanks for having me back on your podcast.
Yeah. You have an open invite. As a matter of fact, you can come and do the show without me here if you want.
We did it already. Me and Dan sat here for 2 fucking hours while you jerked off back there.
I'm back in insulin shock, trying to figure out if I'm going to die or. But my blood sugar when I woke up today was Babe Ruth's lifetime slugging percentage. And by the way, Dan comes home with Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, by the way, he's in my will. Dan knows he's in my will, and all the since I announced my diabetes, the sugar he brings home. Oh, the sugar.
This is like the show where he's got a fishing rod with the Twinkie hanging in front of your nose.
You talk about political correctness and how Howard changed. The Channel 9 show, Richard Simmons would bring in morbidly obese people about to die, and Howard and you would put chicken on the end of a fishing rod, a big, enormous, full chicken, and lowered it down over the fat people.
We lowered the aluminum pan with a full cooked roasted turkey.
Now, do you think people would call that fat shaming?
Oh, God. The fishing pole with open bag of potatoes.
And Richard Simmons going, they're going to die. His phony act. him making money fucking through the fucking ass of those fat people. Oh, Howard, what are you doing? Now, I met him a couple times, not as much as you did. What was your take on Richard Simmons? Was he just a loner? Look, supposedly his maid is abusing him, won't let him out of the house.
He is, he's just a nut, but he's a delightful nut. I always had fun with him, and people always say, "Oh, Jack, I'm too easy."
That's not. Listen,
I just thought he was a great character.
You hit on this.
So full of fucking energy, which is magic on the radio.
Well, I have a theory that, and I brought this on one of my stand-ups, that if you ingest cum, it gives you energy, which is why I think Tom Cruise, who high fives you a little too hard when he wants to go snowboarding, jumps on a couch because he's fucking Katie Holmes. Calm down.
You're thinking that you're saying just after?
No, ingesting cum, will immediately give you energy like you can go snowboarding.
Jeez.
I think you hit something on the head. Richard Simmons, it's not that he's gay, it's that he's crazy. It's not that he's gay. He's nuts.
I'm sure he is or he isn't, but he's so fucking flamboyant.
Right.
I don't know if you guys, there was a time that he came in.
Oh, he's out of the closet, right?
He came in, a motorcycle guy came into the show.
Right.
This motorcycle guy, and we didn't know what it was all about, and he's hanging out, and after 2 minutes, he was in full motorcycle gear and tattoos, and completely made up. Imagine him pulling off a motorcycle.
Wait a minute. Richard Simmons had a boyfriend who was in a...
No, he was the guy. He was the motorcycle. All of a sudden, we're like, that's fucking Richard.
I never saw him out of that uniform he always has.
I know.
With shorts, he was a motorcycle guy?
He could count his balls.
Oh, so that was his thing. He wore the chaps. Well, listen, Richard Simmons, again, you guys would talk about the fact that you'd say, Richard, how come you haven't found a nice girl? For some reason. And he would play it up like he was really not, whatever. He would play it up like he didn't have change for a $3 bill. But I think by now, the craziest story, though, and so you might have had some insight into this. Supposedly, his maid is physically abused. He claims his maid is physically abusing him and will not let him out of the house.
Now, how patently absurd do you have to be to even claim that?
I know, you're right. I guess so. I mean, a lot of it, like my maid Salmi, I think, could kick his ass. By the way,
somebody should write him a letter and say, Richard, did you ever hear of this thing? It's called a window. You fucking idiot.
It's called a closet. Come out of it. She's got him locked up in the closet, by the way. I thought that was very metaphorical.
That's very good.
My maid, by the way, I am Dan. You see that thing over there? Just pick up. Wait, I could get it. Look what I'm doing. I'm subtly scaring my maid into working better because I have a picture of me golfing with Trump that I blew up. And look what I put. She came in before and said, I was at the Soho Trump. Oh! She said, Mr. Artie, what should I do with this? Throw out? I go, no. Don't throw that out. That's very special to Mr. Artie. I'm holding up the Trump Soho Hotel where I was today. The last couple nights, don't ask. Has these enormous laundry bags. It says Trump Soho. I brought.
She's already packing.
She came home. Take a picture. Throw this on my Twitter right now. Discussing with Jackie on the podcast as we speak. Yeah, Jack, come here.
I'm going to turn on my phone so I can get a picture of it too.
Jack, come in the picture though. Here. This is scaring my maid with this. while Jack taping the podcast. When someone who's kind of like iconic, especially in radio, comes in, Dan loves it because he loves feeling he's like a peer, and he is a peer.
He absolutely is.
Yeah, no, he's just a legendary producer, just not in a real city. Of course, Dahl, Steve Dahl. If Steve Dahl didn't have some of my demons, Dan would be me by now.
Never.
But I think he wants to be you or me. He wants to be the. He wants to
Maybe
be
you.
No. Well,
maybe you until the diabetes.
Well, you created what he wanted to be. You created what he wanted to be. He did. It was that is interesting. Like you have a rare story. I'm trying to think of somebody else in show business who did that, where you created a job. It's not really Ed McMahon.
Now listen, be careful because I read some of those tweets and everybody's like, "Oh, Jackie's going to go on Artie's show and take credit for building fucking Manhattan or something like that."
So, again with Twitter, I don't know how young comics are making it right now with Twitter. If I started out when I was about 23 years old, coming into Manhattan on a full-time basis. The first time I ever did it, I was 19 at the original Improv. I was horrible. I did it again next week. The week after in Jersey, I bombed worse, and I said I got to take a couple of years off. I really got going when I was about 23 in the city. And if I had the immediate review that Twitter gives you, the immediate judgment.
The smack in the face with a baseball bat.
Yeah, you know how fragile you are. I don't care how much swagger, how much cool a fucking young comic tries to pull off. He is mortified. It's the most nerve-wracking, anxiety-filled thing to go on stage. The other comics are rooting against you. Yeah, and even...
It's like times 20,000.
Yeah, you're right. And even like last year, by the way, I got a message in the Cuban, hopefully, that he gets that same exact lineup from last year for Christmas. That same exact lineup, or at least me and you. Jack and I were on the same show with...
I saw Mario today.
Mario Cantone. God, everybody was just a killer. And Orlando Jones, my friend from Mad TV, was on it. He's become a headlining comic. And
Gilbert.
And Gilbert. What, Jesus Christ.
What fun.
It was like everybody killed. And it was on Mark Cuban. It was live television, right? Access TV.
Access TV.
Yeah, I did that twice. I hosted it once, and we did it together, like an ensemble thing. But that was so much fun. But a young comic always has nerves. And if you're going on fucking Twitter right after you perform, and everybody in that room is tweeting about you, it is... why would you want to go back to that? These young kids haven't been.
They could be telling the world you suck before you're done.
They repeat a joke. Say you're on the road. They repeat a joke you did that's not even ready to be retold. And by the next time you get to the next town, they all heard the joke already. Right. And a shittier version of it. They rewrite it. And they're not funny people. They're rewriting your joke. So you ever catch your manager with me retelling another comic's joke and it's horrible? You know the guy's funny. And I'm my own manager, Peter, I'd say, Pete, what is that? Like, Mitch Hedberg told you that joke? It doesn't make any sense. And then I would hear Mitch Hedberg tell it, and I go, oh, yeah. And I would go, Pete, listen, you're not doing that with my joke. Huh? Are you kidding me? I repeat you all the time. I go, maybe that's why I'm not fucking working.
My favorite thing is when I'm standing with a couple of people and I tell a fairly funny joke, and a new person walks up to the group, and somebody says, Jackie, tell him that joke. I said, I'm not going to repeat the fucking joke. And they go, all right, I'll tell it. And
that's the best way to get you to tell it.
The first two words are in the wrong fucking ballpark.
No, that is like Picasso saying, you paint it. It's like, give me the fucking brush, asshole. No, but the way you tell a joke is you can't let somebody else tell it. Because it is a skill that is, a lot of people take for granted, the art of telling a joke. And listen, there are politicians that I hear take classes, and one of the things is how to tell a joke at a party, because they feel that's a powerful position. And it really is. If you're the funniest guy in the room, you have a certain power. Broads love it, that's for sure.
Right.
But there's no gray area.
You got to take over, but not take over,
Well, right, exactly. And there's no gray area. If a chick sees you bomb, she never wants to see it. You have a stench on you that can't leave. And if you're David Beckham and she sees you bomb, bye.
Sorry.
But if you kill, forget it. Their clothes are off in the fucking cab. That's why I got into it. I become John Stamos for about 10 minutes.
So here's an ecological joke.
Go ahead.
Ecology.
Got a joke.
Here's a joke with a theme, with an actual message.
Go ahead.
A guy goes in to get a haircut, and the barber cuts his hair. And when he gets done, as the guy's getting out his money, the barber goes over and starts taking a piss in the corner of the barber shop. And he comes back, and the guy gives him the money and says, hey, it's none of my business, but why would you piss in the corner of your own barber shop? And the barber says, hey, my lease is up in a couple of weeks. What do I care? So the barber goes over and rings up the haircut and comes back with the guy's change. When he comes back with the change, the guy's squatting there taking a shit. The barber says, what are you doing? The guy says, well, fuck, I'm leaving now. See that's ecology.
That's unbelievable. That's great.
I'm leaving now. What the fuck do I care?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's great about watching you tell a joke. You still get pure joy out of it.
I still do, man.
Well, if you know,
I honestly do.
Yeah, if you know it's a good joke, you know,
it can't go away.
Yeah. You know it's good. You're about to make people laugh, which is kind of a high. But well, you know, I don't know if I fully told this. Yeah, so Selma, who's Mexican, the love of my life. I'm telling you, Selma, I would marry her. And she comes out with the big Trump Soho laundry bag. And Mr. Artie, should I throw this out? No, you can't frame that. That's the most. That's the most important thing in Mr. Artie's life. Okay, and let's hop it up.
Oh God.
Mr. Artie, the picture of you and Mr. Trump golfing, I should burn it, right? He's evil. No, he's a good friend of Mr. Artie. He's not evil. He's got great ideas, and I agree with. Okay, so let's get going.
Jesus,
how about the laundry? And she's a sweetheart. So okay, so we have to. Dan is such an enormous Cubs fan, Jack. I know you're not a sports guy, but so the World Series is about to start, and the Cubs are about to play in the World Series. Dan, your thoughts?
It's amazing. I had to walk around this afternoon and just even think about it. I mean, I couldn't.
Isn't that so, Jack? Are you a little creeped out by that? He's 50.
No, because I used to be a rabid fan, but so long.
You were 8 years old.
Yeah, I was a kid, but you don't forget that feeling. It's really weird. I almost got the shit kicked out of me at Wrigley Field.
What happened?
I used to work at Zany's.
So did I. I love that club. Classic club.
Did you know Uncle Larry Reeb?
Yes, absolutely.
So me and Uncle Larry Reeb and some guy, Mike.
Uncle Larry Reeb.
Mike somebody was a big fat comic who actually had to add his middle name because there was another comic named
Wait a minute.
Mike.
Is that the guy? I think I know that guy.
Yeah.
The guy who went on Kevin Matthews' show.
Yeah,
okay.
But he died.
Yeah, he died. That guy had diabetes too. Bad. Is that guy alive?
Yeah, yes, the Kevin Matthews guy's alive.
So a different guy.
He went on some TV show, like one of the Biggest Loser shows, and lost a whole bunch of weight, but then he all gained it back.
So you're talking about a different guy.
So here we are, and we're going to go to a Cubs game because
what year is it?
83, 82, 85, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And the guy's the size of a house, but when he went to a Cubs fan, he used to put on a superhero's outfit with a big U on it, and he was ultra fan. And we go out and we sit in the right field bleachers, and it's such a
ultra fan.
small fucking field, and it was so great. And it's me and Reeb and whatever ultra fan, and we start drinking beer, and everybody loves fucking ultra fan.
Of course,
why
not?
Left field sucks,
Right.
and the other bleachers, right field sucks, and ultra fan. It's so much fun, and we're drinking. 3 innings in, the Cubs are losing 15-0. All of a sudden, ultra fan, you suck. And they start throwing shit at him. Next thing you know, we're almost in a fucking world war. We had to run out of there. I almost got myself killed.
Well, that's big. No, the Cubs were shitty right before '84. It was like the dark. Right, they were shit in the late '70s, and they got really good in 1984.
Right,
they blew it. And then you had to wait till Bartman days, right?
Right. Yes.
And now,
'89 they had a bunch of hot rookies, and they went to the playoffs.
They were good looking, huh?
Oh.
Dan always walks right into it. How good they were hot. I'm trying to think who it was.
Their asses look good in those baseball.
Well, it was the two. Was it the
the black shortstop? What was his name?
Sean Dunston.
Oh, he was hot. You're right. He was fucking smoking.
Of course, it was the.
Did you ever fuck any of those guys?
Truth.
Mark Grace, you got to live with one of them. How fucking great.
Hey, speaking of which, is Larry Reeb still alive? He's got to be, right?
I don't think so.
Now, you know Zany's.
He died of full-blown AIDS.
Zany's was a whorehouse.
He was ultra fag at the end.
Yeah. Ultra fag. Zany's was a whorehouse.
Let me tell you something. Zany's had a room above it when I got there in the 90s.
No, listen. That
had dried cum
So
all
Rick
over.
got sick of jumping out the window, so he made it an X-rated bookstore. And he still got sick of jumping out the window, so he made it into a comedy club.
Zany's was where?
Rick Hewitt on Wells.
Made it a what?
Made it into a comedy club. It was a whorehouse, and then it was a dirty bookstore.
Yes.
And
You're kidding me.
No. Upstairs at Zany's, the walls were literally red velvet.
Right.
And me and Larry Reeb used to go
kidding.
out looking for chicks, and we grabbed the whore and put a Stump the Joke Man T-shirt on her, and we brought her up. And so I could kill myself because I had one of those micro cassette recorders, and I don't know what happened to the tape, but I fooled around with her, and then Larry fooled around with her, and he was so fucking shy. He made me leave the room, and I'm peeking at him. And we go to leave, and she's this crazy black girl, and we just had so much fun. And we said, what do you like
Was
to
it
do?
Sheila Dunstan?
She says, I'm a poet. She said, I'm a poet. And you're a poet? And she goes, yeah. And we're about to leave, and Larry says, hold on a second. I'll be right with you. I got to go to the bathroom. So he goes in to go to the bathroom, and I turn on the tape recorder, and the girl goes, now it's time for us to get, but Larry's got to take a shit. And I had that tape for like a year.
I would pay I'd pay $100,000 for that tape.
Billions. I hope he hears this.
Well, you know what? I have a similar story. I've never told this story because it was even so offensive to me, but what do I give a shit now? I'm going to be 50. Okay. The comic strip on the Upper East Side was the first club I was a regular at. Literally, the night I became a regular at the comic strip, they passed me, and then the next night, at Stand Up New York. It took me like 3 years to pass at the Comedy Cellar. And I would get Tuesday night spots at the comic strip because it was still in the early 90s when this was happening. In 93 it happened. I became a regular. And it was when, Chris Rock was working on... Chris Rock was like out of show business. I remember feeling sorry for Chris Rock.
Right.
And he was working on Bring the Pain, what became that HBO special. First pitch, Dan, is Outside, ball one. It's 1-0. So, you know what? I realized, Dan, I have to shut this off. It's going to be too distracting.
To the first black player to ever play for the Cubs in the World Series, Dexter Fowler.
He just took an outside pitch. By the way, very black of him. He was... Boy, what a great moment, Dan. That was the most anticlimactic thing. The Cubs, last time they were in the series, was pre-Jackie Robinson. So this is the first black guy to play in the...
Wow.
And if you notice, the Indians are locking up all their kids.
Everything's a first. First popcorn, first
I know.
blade of grass.
It's like enough already. So I would get shitty spots, like Tuesday nights at like 1 a.m. And, I would get bumped by Ellen Cleghorn, bad shit.
Oh, I haven't thought of that name.
Oh, and she had an attitude. She had a fucking attitude, too. Like, sorry. We all go through this. I'm like, wait, to get to where you are? Making $80 a week?
Leghorn Cleghorn. What was that guy's name?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn.
She sounded like Foghorn Leghorn.
How could
I'll say, I got a spot.
How could anybody keep that name?
Ellen Foghorn Leghorn. That's the greatest character. Ellen Foghorn Leghorn.
How the fuck would you keep that and say a woman?
You just came up with the greatest name of all time. I'll say, I got a spot on it. I'll say I'm bumping you. I'll say, Mr. Michaels, can I get in a sketch?
Boy.
I'll say, boy. Hey, boy. I got a character. I'll say this is Ellen Foghorn Leghorn.
You mean nobody hit her with that?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Jackie, that's a T-shirt. Ellen Foghorn Leghorn. Ellen, I'll say I'm getting my own sitcom on I'll say the WB. the Warner Brothers Network.
He was like a plantation owner.
She had the greatest.
That's what he was supposed to be.
I'll say I'm a plantation owner. I'll say, dog, hit me. I'm open for a lateral. This boy's making more noise than two skeletons throwing a fit on a tin roof.
Jesus.
Nice boy, but about as sharp as a sack of wet mice. All right, listen. Ellen Cleghorn had the greatest thing. Her sitcom was Cleghorn, and she put an exclamation mark after the Cleghorn. So it said Cleghorn, exclamation mark. So the critics the next day, it said Cleghorn, exclamation mark. Awful, exclamation mark. I'll say the critics hate him. I'll say I better go move back in with the hymn.
Back to the drawing board, boy.
I'll say this was Ellen Foghorn Cleghorn. I'll say I'm bumping you, Artie. I'm sorry. I gotta work on some material. I'm working on a character. Wow. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. Chris Farley's doing the I'll say Matt Foley. I can't even get in a David Spade sketch. It's bad. Spade's a nice boy, but about as sharp as a sack of wet mice. Jack, that is so fucking. You just casually came up with the funniest thing ever. Oh, she sounded like Foghorn, and her name's Cleghorn. That's the greatest. That's God saying, guys, for 30 years.
That's all I've ever done is say the most obvious thing.
But for 30 years, God is going, guys. Are you getting
Don't
the
you see
joke?
it? Don't you see it?
I say, don't you get it, boy? Her name's Cleghorn. She sounds like me. What are you, stupid? Mel Blanc is going, what are you, stupid, from the grave? Yeah, Cloghorn. Cloghorn.
That's even better.
That might be better. You see, this is what happens when two guys like us get together. And
Helen Cloghorn.
Ellen Cloghorn. But her career was in the dumper. And she would come and bump me and with an attitude. I'm like, okay, fine, do your 2 minutes. There was a black hooker who would come in from the Harlem. She always wore a cheetah coat. And she had a cigarette. And she would come in from the cold and sit at the bar. Remember, the comic strip was set up. The bar's like right there when you walk in.
Right.
So okay, so she sits at the bar to get warm. And
She didn't bump you.
no, she was funnier than Cleghorn. I'm going to tell you why she's funny. Listen to the story. So we would.
It was 2 steps from the door to the bar.
Exactly, it's right there. So we'd feed her drinks to make her stay there. And so, Colin Quinn would be around and guys like that, and coming in and out. But I became like friendly with her. And okay, she blew me. But anyway, I went into Lucian's.
This is Leghorn or
Mrs. I'll say, Artie, you're in the bathroom. This is Ellen Foghorn Cleghorn. I got a spot. I got to get in there. Are you in there with that whore? So we asked her questions about being a hooker. And this was very influenced by you guys, of course. I'd ask her like Howard Stern type questions. It's Jackie wrote. I would go, I said to her one time, okay, it's a kind of crowd. And I say, who's the worst like race of people to have sex with? Is there like a dirtier? And she took a drink. My hand to God. She goes,
not like you mean like here comes a
well, she right. Yeah, exactly. Like who? What race of people? A Jew? Or like it's a melting pot. Who is it? So she goes with my hand to God. She goes, you mean besides niggas? So I went. Listen, we're all adults here, of course. Besides, of course, that's implied. Of course, besides, we're all adults here. I laughed at that for 2 hours. She was jet black. Yaphet Kotto looked like one of the fucking Olsen twins. All right. So I go, okay. She goes, and starts screaming. Without question, hands down, Hasidic motherfucking Jews. They do not wash. In August, they leave their motherfucking coats on. Their kids stink. They bring the kids around. I got to blow those motherfuckers. As I'm blowing them motherfuckers, I say, bitch, you love crack. I said, Ellen, you're bumped for her. You're bumped for Miss Cheetah. Just go on stage and say that. As I'm blowing them Hasidics, I say, bitch, you love crack. Talking to herself in the third person, she says, bitch. I said to myself, bitch, you love crack. And you do. What you'll do for drugs.
Shows yourself no respect.
At the time, I'll say I got no respect.
No respect for myself.
That's so fucking funny. But honestly, I'm trying. At the height of my heroin days, you really want heroin? Would I have blown an Hasidic Jew? I'd like to think not.
Oh, God.
I'd like to tell my father, Dad, I only blew Catholics.
I drew a line.
That's so great. Ellen Cloghorn. I'm gonna keep saying Cloghorn. What did you? Were you a fan?
Want to hear my Hasidic Jew joke? A guy goes into a second-hand
I'd love to hear
store.
all of them.
A guy goes to a second-hand store to get a coat, and it's owned by a Hasidic Jew, and he says, "I need a coat," and the Jew says, "Come," and he walks him down the house. And says, "Here, try here this
funny.
coat. This coat. Put on this coat. Look at this coat." Taste the coat. This is a great coat. This is the coat for. Look at this. Is the perfect coat. This is the coat. This is the coat for you. And the guy goes, "It's nice, but it smells." And the Jew says, "Take the coat. The smell is me."
You had to see. First of all, you had to see Jackie's face. He got into character. That's why when
That's Adam Leslie joke.
That's when when you did the show together, when we did Mark Cuban's thing together, what was the first thing you said when you went up to the mic? You swaggered up and you said, 2 flies are flat on... What is it?
Two flies land on a piece of shit.
That's the first thing he said. And I said it was like watching Babe Ruth slowly walk up to the plate. Like, bases are loaded, you're down by 3. Okay? Bottom of the fucking ninth, game 7. And this is Babe Ruth swaggering. Like the outlaw Josie Wells. That's what Jackie looked like. The place going crazy, and it dies down, and that's what he says. And then another laugh for 10 minutes.
I love it.
We were live.
Thank you.
We were live TV. It was so much fun. And by the way, do we have a date? We have a date for St. George, I know. You know that, right?
We have 4.
What do you mean 4?
They gave you 4, and you
I
picked one.
okayed one,
Oh,
right?
you did okay one?
I was told
Yes.
Jackie okayed those 4, and then I had.
Nobody has ever run a date by me.
See, it's unbelievable.
I'm
Who's
not
your-
lying.
Of course, he's not lying.
No.
Why would you lie? So where is that? Do you have that piece of
4,
paper?
I circled the one that
How
you
long
sent.
have
I
we
sent
been?
it
How long
back.
have we been talking?
30 minutes.
Okay. You don't have that piece of paper anywhere?
I have an email. I can check with you.
Yeah, because I want to.
Just yell it out. I got 2 gigs from now until 2020.
It's the 17th of. It's not till February, but or December. I'm hoping. You see, I didn't realize I was booked because I took the whole summer off.
Just make sure that I find out
Do you
the
wanna
date
ho-
sometime in the next month.
Do you want to hope? Do you want to? Do you want me to make one of my gigs just our gig together?
I want you to do whatever makes you happy.
Well, I
That's
don't
what
want
I've
you-
said
well, I
since the
want-
first time I did this podcast. I said I'm not chasing you because it's better for me than
not-
you
you're
if I
not doing
do
it.
it with you.
You approved March 24th,
Oh,
but
fuck.
there's not been a confirmation yet. Back.
March. Who am I, fucking a young David Brenner? How booked am I? You know what happened? I took the summer off, and
But you don't know how long the tour is going to be for HBO. That's the problem.
that's right. Oh God, I forgot about that. That's exciting and everything, but
Yeah,
my career.
that's
has
a
one
high
last-
class problem.
My career has one last push. Well, no, Judd Apatow was taking care of me in a way, and Pete Holmes at HBO. I got to. I mean, they're
well, whatever you do, blow them off for me.
They are. I'm doing a tour with them to promote the show that I'm doing on HBO, and it's as if I'm a regular on the show. Apatow said we're going to do a stand-up tour, and it's private jets in and out of cities because it's HBO money. St. Louis, you do the show, you get on the jet, you come back. I mean, Judd, I can't thank that guy.
Well, then, in that case, if we do the St. George Theater, I will definitely give you a lift.
You know what I'll do? I'll get the jet and we'll drive it on the ground to Staten Island. We'll be in traffic on the fucking BQE. But do you realize how special a night that'll be if we'll get to do stand up together?
You preach it to the choir.
Now I'm waiting for some blood work. You're the healthy one. I hope I make it to March.
So do I.
Everybody on tour now. I used to be in the old days. I had tour. Nobody cares. You book shit. Now everybody's worried about my health with the diabetes. So I said, look, I'm fine. I'll make the tour. I'll bring the insulin. If not, they have insulin in other cities. Don't they have insulin in other cities?
Yes.
I have insulin pens. I was showing it to Jack. I've said to Jackie, I said, I'm kind of disorganized. You said, I'm kind of getting that.
I picked up on that.
I picked up on that. I'm picking up on that.
It's seeping in slow.
But I said, I pinch myself because I go, I got Jackie fucking calling me about gigs. I did all right in life. I was listening to this guy. I was a longshoreman, and now we're doing a gig. You can't take stuff for granted. You learn. I just turned 49,
Congratulations.
A couple weeks. So, when is your
49.
birthday?
Valentine's Day.
That's right.
I'm going to be 69.
Is that true? Wow. So, how many jokes are you going to make about that?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Are you a birthday guy? You always had a party, didn't you, or something?
It's funny because I did a movie where I got to make out with Florence Henderson.
That's right.
And
while you were doing Stern?
No.
After?
And the guitar player in my band from college
So Bobby Capello
calls me up and he goes, no, it might as well be. But he calls me up and says, you're doing a movie with Florence Henderson. I can't believe you have the same birthday as her. And I'm like,
cool.
You fucking homo. I says, bad enough you remember my birthday. How would you know? He said, because you made such a fucking obnoxious deal about it every time it was your birthday, so you could get so much extra drunk. And then one day he was watching Mike Douglas, and she came on and said, oh, yeah, my birthday's Valentine's Day. And I said, oh, same as Martling. And then I saw it years later. Here you are doing a movie with her. So this is my show business story. I'm sitting there in makeup with me and Florence Henderson and Sean Penn's mother, Eileen Ryan, is it? Or Eileen Brennan, maybe?
Wait, 1 second. Eileen Brennan is Sean Penn's mother?
The actress.
The actress Eileen Brennan is Sean Penn's mother?
Yeah, maybe I got the...
Eileen Brennan from The Sting, the famous character actress. That's a show. Part of me, but that's a showbiz fact I never knew. I'm taken aback by that.
So
is that true? Okay, again.
So it's Eileen something.
Okay.
Irene.
Eileen Ryan.
Eileen Ryan. Eileen Brennan is very different.
Right.
She's from the Sting. Eileen Brennan. Eileen left.
But Eileen Ryan she's an actress.
Yes.
All right. So I apologize.
I'm thinking Eileen left.
But she's done stuff.
She had a band name.
But it's Sean Penn's mother, and so it's Florence Henderson and Eileen Ryan and me, and we're sitting there getting made up at the casino at the with the Palms in Las Vegas, and we're ready to do a crap scene, and we're sitting there, and I'm equipped with knowing that I have the same birthday as fucking Florence Henderson. So we're sitting there, and there's a break in the action. So I go, Florence, we have the same birthday, and she goes, "Oh, you're born on Valentine's Day?" And I say, "Yes," and Eileen leans over and she goes, "Oh, Sean has the same birthday as Robert De Niro." And Florence Henderson goes, "Oh, how is Bobby?" And I said, "Yes, how is Bobby?" Like trying to jump in on the conversation.
Is Bobby doing okay?
How's Bobby?
I got to tell you.
Give Bobby my best.
Do you see the De Niro tape of him yelling that he wants to punch Trump in the face?
That's so classy.
I have never seen him off camera have that emotion. He's always. It's got to be. That seems personal. I'm telling you.
Never seen him that involved in anything.
Exactly.
He doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Something happened. I'm telling you, that's a personal thing. It may be business, maybe abroad.
Fucked his wife.
Yes. It's that kind of shit going. There's that kind of shit going.
Yeah.
On.
There's more to it than there's more to it than he's not voting for.
I agree with you. That is what's happening there because De Niro is talking to him like he wants to punch him in the face.
Or else he's that good an actor.
Dennis Miller had a great line. I don't know if I told you this before, but Laurence Olivier died, and the news said Laurence Olivier was found dead, and Dennis Miller went, "Are you sure?
Are you sure?
he's pretty good."
I remember that.
Are you sure? He's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
That's good shit.
That's
baby.
brilliant. That's fucking shit. Brilliant.
Yeah. So so Jack, what do you got going on? But you doing stand? I mean, here's the thing. I have to ask you this. You're gonna be you're pushing 70.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself hanging them up? Ever? Are you gonna will you die on stage? Again?
No.
Again.
What else is new?
No, are you going to be that like a jazz?
It's the George Burns thing. George Burns said he retired when he's 15 and went into show business.
Right.
Why would you ever stop? I would stop if I went up to start telling jokes and they weren't coming to me. I'd probably fuck around with it. Knock on wood, it hasn't happened yet. And if I couldn't fuck around with it and make it just as funny, I wouldn't. I wouldn't torture the audience any more than I do now. You know what I mean?
Like clearly they're not tortured if they're coming because if they're still coming, then you got something going on.
But I would always do it. Why would you stop? Woody Woodbury's fucking 94 and he's out in California.
First time hearing of him. It was Dan jerking him off. But you're right. That is a good point because it does not, at least stand up. It doesn't feel like work at all.
But I don't get in the fucking car. And I refuse to do 2 shows in a night. Once in a while, blue moon, I do it. But for the most part,
it does suck.
I can do 1 show a night for the rest of my life. I say to people, doing 2 shows in a night, it's like fucking a girl twice. If somebody tells you, all right, you're going to fuck that girl, but then you have to fuck her again, it spoils both of them.
Maybe immediately, but not 45 minutes later after they loaded another audience.
Right.
If they have to load another audience.
Starting over sucks.
Well, that's what I mean. That's the whole thing is multiple shows, and I've done 3 or 4. Sometimes I was getting exploited, quite frankly, in the early days there. Bob Levy would call me up. You want to do a 5 a.m.? You want to do a matinee at Boca Nuts? But it's the emotional thing. It's not the performance. It's like you have to go down and you come back up again. And quite frankly, someone like me, that's where you get a little. How am I going to come back up again? Maybe I won't count on emotions. But 1 show a night is nothing. It's just.
I can do it anywhere. Like I was telling you, you're on stage at the Orleans Arena with 2,500 people, and 4 days later, you're working not you, but I'm working to 60 people in Jersey.
I know if that's happened. Yeah, sure.
But it depends on how good they are. I do get to the point where I'm not going to take a gig if I think there's a good chance there's going to be a microphone wire hanging and a horrible. But even some of these gigs where they pay you decently at a restaurant or it can be a horrible setup, but the people are so great that you don't fucking care, you know.
Yeah, if I had 4 people doing it, I would keep doing it. 4 people there because it's like therapy. We're gonna have to make this a special treat. I gotta let Danny watch the World Series. I feel because we're gonna make the special 40 minutes of Jack, and then we'll cut it here. Yeah, what are you plugging? Plug something. First of all, it was worth it for Ellen Clegg. Foghorn Clicker. That is like, I promise you, no one's ever thought of that before.
Oh, stop it!
No, I'm just saying. I don't think that. I haven't heard that. I could do that. I'm going to keep doing that. That's going to be a recurring theme. Is me just going. I'll say. Listen, Mr. Michaels, I can't get into David Spade sketch. This is a low point. I say a low point.
That's low hanging fruit.
What do you got for us?
When is this going to be out?
Tomorrow, right?
Oh, so I'm working Saturday night at a place called Ha in Yonkers.
I heard that's a new place. I heard it's great.
It's it's small, but it's really
there was
really
a place
fun.
called Ha on 46th Street,
Right, and the same guy, and he moved it to Yonkers.
Great club.
It's really fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I really look forward to going. And I got a private party on Friday that I'm not announcing, but I love doing that shit. You know, you give them a price that's way too much, so they won't hire you, and then they do.
And you're at Jackie Martin.
But I got a guy. I'm getting my fucking book published after all these years, so I'm thrilled.
Well, when is that going to come out?
I'm fucking thrilled. You know, not probably 8 or 9 months.
Well, you got to come on at any time for that because I will read that in a heartbeat. I can't wait.
Tell the people that we are going to do a show.
This without question. So I'm going to make sure March. We're going to get a show done before that. March. I have 4 dates, and that's right. There was March. I'm like, what the fuck?
But Danny, put one in March just in case. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to make sure no one's worried. My father's birthday is St. Patrick's Day. We'll do it as a tribute to him. We'll do St. Patty's.
I would listen, and I also tweet a joke every day at 4:20.
At the
Jackie
time at Jackie Marling.
And it always jumps a couple hundred after I do your show, so I will blow you.
Anytime, brother. I love you. And again, it was worth it for 2 minutes of sheer podcast classic. Hey, Dan, let's watch the Cubs in the World Series.
All right.
Good luck,
I love
Dan.
you, Jack.
Thank
Do well.
you.
I love you.
Take care. Brush your hair.
Bye-bye.
Kevin Dombrowski, the great comic, is here with me.
Hello.
Lives with Gino Bisconti. Gino, of course, does a lot of work, video work in his apartment. And how is it living with Gino, of course, Kev? Gino Bisconti, of course. He says that he won't come into the show anymore because he hates Dan. And then I saw him at my gig at the comedy, Caroline's.
Yeah.
A club I've taken him to open for me before. And again, the hostility's dripping off him, the resentment. He told me outright, drunk one night outside of Detroit at a gig at the Royal Oak Theater, that he thinks he's clearly more talented than me. And if I don't look like John Belushi, he'd have my career. And
Did he really?
yeah, of course. I mean, that's how he's thought forever. I know he thinks that way. And I keep him around. You know why? Because I need the eggs. No. I listen. He's a talented kid. And, I said, yeah, right, looking like John Belushi is the reason I did Letterman 14 times instead of you. And I did Conan since the mid-'90s every couple of months because I look like John Belushi. Yeah, I was on Mad TV, John Belushi. I was on The Norm Show for 2 years because of John Belushi. I was in 7 movies because I look like that. You weren't because of John Belushi. That's right. John Belushi, I remember him being the #1 bestseller on the New York Times bestseller because I look like Belushi. You didn't write the New York Times #1 bestseller because you don't look like John Belushi. Is that what we're going with? Okay. And then I wrote a second one in a row, bestseller #12. That we both went to paperback because I look like John Belushi, of course. Because when you look like John Belushi, you write good books, and Gino doesn't. Of course, that's what happened. I sold out Carnegie Hall in 2 hours. Because I look like John Belushi.
Well, he came home and said he meant Jim.
Yeah, right. Well, I look like Jim too, and I look like Billy Belushi. I look like quite frankly, I don't look.
You look like Agnes Belushi too.
I'm not the healthiest. Is that his mother?
Yes.
God, if people knew who his mother was, that would have been so funny. I didn't know either. I just assumed it because I know how Dan's comedic mind thinks. Yeah, and of course, I said you're right, Gino. Your theory's right. Mm-hmm. I sold out Symphony Hall in Boston in 2 hours. It's a record because I look like John Belushi. And you don't. You don't look like John Belushi. And I'm sorry. It's all luck. It's all fucking luck. No respect. Disgraziato. Mario Bosco, your thoughts?
You're right. He's a disgraziato.
Well, do you know Gino at all?
No, I have not met him, but if I do, Madonna, fix his ass.
Well, he called me with some feedback about you. It's not good.
I would pay to see that fight.
No, look, of course I'm busting chops. But Gino has said things. He gets drunk on the road, and he goes, he opens for me, and he hates that. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm on Stern. I don't think I'm a better comedian than you. I am, but I don't think it. He's like, I don't know. He gets pissed off for some reason, and he manifests itself when he comes on the fucking radio. When I'm talking, he's looking at me like he refuses to laugh. Dan gets in these moods, too, because he resents me. But he just looks at me like, that's the feedback I get from the guy on the show. I'm trying to be funny, tell a funny story. I'm trying to be gregarious. I look over at my friend for 23 years like,
That's just his hungover face.
yeah, he looks like someone looks at when they're in English class, first period after fucking 92 shots of Rumpelmans.
We call that embalming, Gino.
Well, again, give it. You know what? Don't come in then, Dick Lick. You got to give it up. I was like, what? What? It's funny. Shut up. Shut up. And then one time it slipped. Actually, I kept saying, Gino, in the middle of the story, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guess it's your show." It is my show. No, what he say? He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guess it's the Artie Lang
show." Yeah, that's what he said.
I mean, yeah, it is the Artie Lang show, and that's where your true colors come out. That's where your true colors come out. It happens with Dan sometimes too. He has outbursts. Sometimes the truth comes out, like when you said, "I'm a fag."
Did you ever say "Welcome to the Dan Filato Show"?
No. Dan's a loyal friend. Dan is unbelievably great. Without Dan, there's nothing. There really isn't. Dan is the glue that keeps us together.
I get Mario Bosco here.
No, I'll tell you what. Dan is the nucleus. Mario's the mucus.
Probably.
Dan is the nucleus, which of course is the center, a very important part, and you are something that, people sneeze. I like you, buddy. What do you think of Kevin Dombrowski, Mario?
Very nice guy.
Thanks, man.
He looks like a guy was ready to come out fighting, comedy style.
Oh my God, play Mount Boredom.
No, I'm serious. Well, that's my.
I know when you're serious, dude. It's not a serious show. It's a comedy show. Write a joke every fucking 20 years, Haley's Comet. That's enough. Wait, look at these broads. Look at Fox News. Look at Fox fucking News. We're watching, and this asshole's got to be on. It looks like a guy hired two whores in Vegas. Hannity's got two whores he hired. Now, which one is Rhonda?
Is she holding? Is she holding his money?
That is. Yeah. Look at him. He's got the tie with the jeans on. You got $48 million.
He's hosting America's Funniest Home Videos in the 90s.
Well, listen, he found a niche. Glenn Beck used to be a Z Morning Zoo guy. On Stern, we found the tapes of him. Like, these guys don't believe the shit that's coming out of their fucking mouths. They found a fucking niche. They know what to say to get a lot of comics are doing that too. You got to concentrate on one thing. Why the cable guy? Yeah, that guy was a regular comedian named Dan Whitney. And then one day, I guess he had a flannel shirt on for some reason, and
his sleeves fell off.
Burped out, "Get her done," and everyone laughed. Hey, I'll use that. He had a character who had the joke in his roast. You know what character didn't work? Dan the comedian. Once again, my finger was on the pulse of America. First time I saw him was a picture. You have pictures of comics at clubs that they play, and I was at the Columbus, Ohio Funny Bone. Yeah, just kill me now. With Stuttering John, who actually did 17 whippets in the green room. Could you think of a less cool unrock and roll thing? He had no money for weed, and I had drugs. I was going to tell him. Never tell a Puerto Rican you have drugs. And okay, man, let's want to grow up. And I said to him, I said, what are you doing? He goes, I can't afford weed, so I'm doing whippets. So he would snort the whippet. He would make them. He would tell the waitresses at the Funny Bone. He would tell the waitresses when they were done with Ready Whip to give it to him. Oh my God! To give him the bottle of Ready Whip. At the end, it looked like an 8-year-old's birthday party. He would do the whippet, and it would be a 2-second high. We've all done whippets. I mean, I used to do them all the time. There was a head shop in the village we used to go in. Mike DeLessio and Joe Miscavige. I was in the 7th grade. They were like the 10th grade. They just got a license. They had a 1972 Buick Skylark. It had rust on it. It was orange. He called it the orange peel. Real cool. And he had a painting of Eddie from Iron Maiden.
The orange peel.
Eddie from Iron Maiden was painted on the ground. So he goes, I'm walking out with my book, 7th grade. D'Alessio goes, hey, Lang, come into the fucking city with us. You got to watch the car while we go in the head shop and buy whippets. I go, I got to go home. I got like homework. He goes, figured your mama's boy. So they guilted me into it. Cut to me in the car. I always made the wrong fucking decision. I'm in the car with Fat Joe Miscavige. Fat Joe. Fat Joe gets weak blow. They found Fat Joe. I can't even say how they found him. He's not with us anymore. He was a 400-pound kid who wore Capizios.
Where is he now?
He's in a little place I call Purgatory. He's no longer with us. Thanks for bringing it up, Mary. I mean, you know, yeah. Actually, I like the kid. Fat Joe Miscavige, he dated this girl who, such a scumbag this chick was. She would say, Fat Joe gets weak blow. Really, honey? What? Just go right to prison. Just go right to prison. You and your Ramon shirt that you got made on the Seaside High. No, this chick in the 10th grade got a shirt made up at the Seaside High Boardwalk. You know, you get an iron on when it said on your shirt. Yeah. This is someone's daughter. It said, and on the 8th day, God created Molly Hatchet. Oh, God. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. So, yeah, I was a mama's boy. So I get in the car with D'Alessio and Joe Miscavige, Fat Joe Miscavige. And I wait, and it's not far from where the Comedy Cellar is now, but when I was in 7th grade, I was 13 years old. And that was the late 70s in New York, by the way. I remember it like it was like watching a movie. 1979 it was, and I was in the Village by the Cellar. What a fucking place. Like it was. You could see people just had blenders they were selling for no reason. They had knitting needles coming out of their fucking foreheads. Oh, it was so much fun. Huh. It was a blast. Italian people own pizzerias. Okay, Ben's was still there. An Italian guy owned it before he sold to one of the refugees.
You used to be able to get fake driver's licenses.
Well, you weren't there.
Well, no, but we had the same thing in Chicago.
No, you didn't.
On Maxwell Street. In the Blues Brothers, where they're going up and down.
You did not have the same thing. You so want to be us.
Yeah.
You didn't. You're in Chicago's not New York.
You're not Bensonhurst.
Well, actually, he's better than Bensonhurst. No, again, Dan, it's not. Who's sitting where? Who's sitting in whose hometown? You came here. Did I go to Chicago? No. You came here to look for your hero, Artie Lang. And to have your dream job to work in New York Radio. You're like, wow, I finally made it. I'm working with Artie Lang and Nick DiPaolo in New York City. Hey, Mom, remember that dream I embroidered into the sweater I wore?
Next to the whippets.
Mom, remember the whippets I did that summer? And I saw vampires for 3 years. Remember I was swimming nude with the rest of the 8th graders? It's right around when Rick Steves kidnapped me. Today we're looking at a wonderful erection. Okay, what was it like, Dan? Tell me, Maxwell Street, what would you buy there? First of all,
well, you could buy tires, you could buy batteries. The batteries were still warm.
Yeah, but you never
driver's license.
You never did anything wrong.
Oh yeah, I went and got a fake driver's license so we could drink.
No, dude, you never drank. You were not a cool kid. That's why you left.
Did you lick batteries?
Who leaves? Jesus Christ.
Did you lick 9-volt batteries?
Well, is that code for cock? Is that an electrician's dick?
No.
Hey, you want to go lick some 9-volt batteries? That's what they call Prince's cock.
You would lick 9-volt batteries and you get that zap on your tongue.
They weren't telling you. They were goofing on you.
It's called herpes.
Yeah. Yo, who told you to do that, man?
Well, I was a kid growing up.
Yeah.
Did you take the sissy test with a penny, where they have to scratch a penny on your arm until you bleed? And if you cry, you're a sissy.
All right, let's just move on, please.
I didn't cry. I have a scar.
We have to appreciate Mario while he's still here.
The guys that aren't sissies, you know what? They never get asked to do that test. No one ever asked me. They look at you and they go, do the penny thing with this faggot.
It's like the Nickelodeon version of Fight Club.
That's what I mean. Like, they asked you because you were a mark. They knew you were a fucking pussy. I'm sorry.
I didn't cry.
I didn't cry.
We're gonna lose Mario soon.
Why?
He's moving up to Elmira.
Why are you gonna do that?
He loves it up there.
I thought it was great. I didn't say I'll move up there.
You said you're looking for a place.
Dan, why are you crowbarring this in? Am I doing something wrong? Why are you crowbarring this in? I want to know. You're off on a tangent. I call it a tangent. Why are we on this tangent about where he's living?
I want him to tell us about it.
But you can't actually think it's funny. What
You
you're saying
think,
right now.
Dan, I will leave Brooklyn, New York?
Listen to what he just caused. I was doing a bit that people were laughing at. We're gonna lose Mario soon. Dan loves to throw bait out there. We're gonna lose Mario soon. That's what I'll say. I got the most disgusting gift from Dan. I never thought he'd do this, but he was away for a few days. And I went to take a piss because I sometimes when he's not here I'll piss in there because it's closer. Fucking big load of shit. You didn't flush the toilet, dude. It's so disgusting.
No way.
Dan, my hand to God, it was disgusting.
How many days old?
Like you just left, I guess. You just done it.
No way.
Dan,
really?
I swear on my father's grave. Absolutely.
Sometimes it sticks in there, so I don't.
It sticks in there.
Yeah.
What the cock?
Oh, dude, I apologize.
Listen, Raul, it sticks in there.
Now watch out when you unplug it.
You apologize? Fuck you. How disgusting. I always told Dan if I hear him shitting, you're out. But it's gross. I didn't eat for 2 days. Why do you think I got thinner? Dan, you're disgusting. Again, first of all, a hostile move. A hostile move. Like, you motherfucker. Yeah, I guess you're the funny one. Good luck on crashing. Good luck on the crashing tour, motherfucker. Eat this dick. Here's a nice little fucking message from Chicago. Here's Barack Obama dropping off his kids at the pool. Chicago reference. When you go low, I go high.
As your friend Michelle Obama once
That's
said.
right. Dan, do you apologize to me? That was so disgusting.
I did. I said I was.
No.
I can't imagine.
No, I can't imagine either. I imagine it. I gotta take a piss. I'm pissing it all over your fucking toothbrush right now. So are we on?
Yeah. How pissed is Obama's grandmother that Malik is a Trump +1?
Okay, so you know what? We're listening. Barack Obama has a brother from Africa that looks like Yaphet Kotto and David Ortiz. Fucked and had a kid, and the comedian George Wallace. Look at the size of this guy. And Sean Hannity's, every rumor. So it's true, Barack just hates the country. Right?
That's unbelievable.
So Barack, you saw Barack make a bomb, right? Sean Hannity. So when's the first time you saw Barack attempt to blow himself up? No, Sean, you get it wrong. We were kids and he got blown with me. No, I heard you say it differently. You heard he made a bomb and strapped it to himself. Right? Well, we'll just edit this in.
Does Barack have a red, white, and blue
yeah, right.
oversized Kenyan yarmulke on his head?
Now, did you think it was odd that your younger brother had instead of a poster of like Menudo, he had the blueprints to the World Trade Center? When you were watching him get born in Morocco, honestly, look at this. It's like The Godfather. He just when Pantangeli's brother has to show up.
Oh, yeah.
Where is Donald? Where is Malik now? He's on a plane going home to his homeland. All he had to do was show up, wasn't it? Melania. All he had to do show up. I suppose you never beat them. Do you have that audio, Melania?
Yes.
Did you hear Melania Trump? Melania Trump got interviewed by
Anderson. It was Anderson Cooper.
Oh God.
Two people who love dick.
Was there just no microphone?
It'd be great if they talk cock a little bit. Have you ever been in a hot tub with Jeter? Yes, I actually have, Derek, and I got it. Well, put it this way, I got a gift bag. Who's Bernie Williams? I have gift bag too, of course. Before I meet Donald, Wink, wink. I fucked him during the Iowa caucus. Do we have it?
Emphasis on the cock.
Hey, well, listen to this. This is so great. This broad can't speak English. Okay?
This is obvious.
Okay, it's like it's rehearsed. Okay, this is Melania Trump, Donald Trump's widow. Talk. An interview with Anderson Cooper. Go ahead.
It's been a difficult time. How are you holding up? How are
That's
you
Anderson Cooper.
I'm great. I'm very strong. I'm very confident, and I live my life. I take care of myself.
What a script.
And of our son.
Okay,
and my
next
husband.
card.
And I'm doing great.
When you came down that
Wait, stop it then. What's great about these interviews, Anderson Cooper has no idea what you just said. And he just moves on. It was like one time Frank Messer, when I was a kid, interviewed Mickey Rivers, the center fielder for the Yankees, African-American from Alabama. I don't believe he got through high school. Not an articulate guy. And Frank Messer was very articulate this way. And he had to interview Mickey Rivers for a rain delay. And this is exactly, Frank Messer could not have understood what Mickey Rivers was saying, but he kept barreling on as he did, like a pro. And Anderson Cooper does this. Like, here's Mickey Rivers and Frank Messer. I can remember as a kid here. Mick, you've got 13 stolen bases, and it's the third month of the season. Do you see yourself leading the team and possibly the league? Well, I'll say I did here, man. I'll come back. I'll steal back, set some stolen bases, get back in over second. Mick, you're hitting 320. You're hitting 321, Mick, and you've led the league before, but not with the Yankees in hitting. Do you think you can do it with the Yanks? What's the idea with a back come back on down? What's on Richard Jackson about some contract? Mick, you're one of the best center fielders the Yankees have ever had. I mean, of course, there's Mickey Mantle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think you can have the best fielding percentage of any Yankee who's ever lived? What's the idea with a backwards and back saying? What you about with a glove? What on me? What about what? I practice. Mick, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Mick, on the Messer Report. It's Frank Messer, and this is who is this? That's not I'm Mickey Rivers. This is Mickey Rivers. Back after this. So that's how it went. Okay, Anderson Cooper's doing this with Donald Trump's wife. Go ahead.
Later, more than a year ago, the day your husband announced the campaign, did you ever expect all this stuff would come out, these allegations would be made, that you would have to be sitting
I
here
expected it.
defending him?
You never thought about that, but I'm not surprised in one way, because a lot of people, they're against my husband, and he's run for president, so nothing.
I hadn't heard.
Is it?
It sounds like Schwarzenegger's first interview in America.
But he just barrels on.
In one way, it's hard because press, it's very dishonest. And it's a lot of lies
The
that
press.
they've written also about me as my husband. And you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I file a few lawsuits.
As you may heard. The guy is an anchor, a lead anchor on a news organization, possibly the biggest news organization in the world. He hadn't heard that, Melania.
Yeah, I'm really looking.
Yeah, the biggest news story you've ever given us. As you may heard, Donald run for president. Yeah. The fucking homeless plumbers know that.
Yeah, Borat 2 sounds hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's, oh God. She is just, and if you notice, she's looking over his shoulder sometimes like it's a cue card. She's like, I strong, I confident, I love husband, I no expect this. As you may heard, I lawsuit, people mean, I in penthouse, I no hooker, I love husband, I woman, I respect women. I tell him words he say to Bill Bush inappropriate. Okay, could you move the cards a little quicker? Who do you think I am, Eleanor Roosevelt? Okay, go ahead.
And I'm in the court now.
I'm in the court now. I'm in the court now. That's fucking perfect. We couldn't have queued it up any better. I'm in the court now. The woman can't speak a word of English. She wants to be the first lady. Thank you, Donald Trump. What an entertaining. I mean, we could have had Mitt Romney again. That utter bore. Go ahead, Dan.
Of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation. And
I kill you. What's your reputation? They damage my reputation of whore. They damage reputation of a bride that arrives in a box.
I know never take money.
I know how to play it subtle. I know the slow long con. I was taught grifter by uncle. My uncle was grifter. He teach me slow con. I give this thing soon. He said, have baby with billionaire. I did. I got fat. I have baby. Now that baby boy is a mine. Oh, that little Trump kid. He is the key. He's the golden child to her life. You know how protective she must be of that little fucking brat? How spoiled is that kid going to be? How spoiled. He's important not to Donald Trump, who's probably never met him, but also her. Think of how important that kid is to her. That's the link. Right. That's the link.
And there's been division between the three kids and her.
She knows how to do division?
I know let him hold baby.
Why? What's the division? They have birthday falls around the same time? What is it then?
She's upset about this whole thing with his reputation and everything. And she wanted different...
$4 billion.
Yeah, but,
what does she want?
But
she's upset about what? The Billy Bush shit?
She's been fighting with the kids.
About what?
Over some of the moves that he's made during his campaign.
Well, why is she mad at the kids for?
Because they're telling him what
they're
to
saying
do.
Go to Billy Bush and say you like grabbing twat?
He no grab me by pussy?
What she mad at the kids for? Like Ivanka said, tell Billy Bush when you were 13 to tell him I grabbed pussy. What does that mean? This Dan doesn't make sense hour brought to you by the...
No, they're fighting over who's in charge of his campaign, who says
Melania wants to be in charge of the campaign. I don't think so. Melania wants to be in charge of the hot tub. Do you know how pissed off she probably was? What are we doing? You're running for what? I thought you go do apprentice, I stay in hot tub. And I thought the blacks take care of the baby. And I thought I have open charge at Bergdorf. What are we going? What is Iowa? We're going to Iowa in January? To do what?
What time Michelle come feed baby?
Caucus? I have to study Michelle Obama's speeches?
Caucus extra 100?
Right, yeah. It's not the contract caucus. I hate to do this to you, Donald, but we have to bring out the contract again. It says here, I have to smile 4 times a week at camera. I had the baby already. The baby's not retarded. Everything, she passed the test. The baby looks mostly white. I have passed that.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I tell people your hair looks good. There's nothing here. Have sex with Jeter only inside.
You sound like a robot. What's the robot from the Jetsons?
Mario, can I explain something? That's the joke. The joke is I sound like a robot.
Not you. Her.
Right. So I'm doing an impression of a robot. Well, right. That's the point I'm making. What you just interrupted, Mario, was the funny version of what you said. Of course it sounds like a robot. I'm doing that because she sounds like a robot. You're crowbarring in the obvious.
Sorry.
You better be sorry.
Dan play Sound of Mount Bourne now?
Mario Bosco, stupid. Okay. Vinnie Monroy, right joke. Gay sweater. Don't pull the pouting, dude. It's not working here. You're with the fellas. That works with your mother. We're not looking for an extra lasagna. I'm trying to teach you how to be a man. You bust balls. You say something stupid, you get your balls busted. It happens a little more often. All right, go ahead.
It was 10 days ago that Access Hollywood released that tape. I'm wondering when you first saw it, when you first heard it, what did you think?
When he grabbed me by pussy?
I said to my husband
Move card.
that the language is inappropriate.
Language
It's
inappropriate.
not acceptable.
Not acceptable.
And
Also, the Amex was not accepted.
I was surprised because that is not the man that I know.
This is not the man that I
And
know.
as you can see,
You don't know the
from
man.
the tape, the cameras were not on. It was only a mic. And I wonder if they even knew that the mic was on, because
No,
they
they
were
didn't.
kind of a boy talk, and he was lead on, like egg on.
Stop. He was lead on. How often did she rehearse that? He was lead on like egg on. The Trump and that fucking guy Corey Lewandowski. No, Aegon, bitch, Aegon. Say Aegon. Say Aegon, you fucking twat, Aegon. Aegon. No, lead on.
Can you use another phrase, Melania?
Wait, let me get Donald. He's in the enclosure. Donald. Yes. Has the whore learned it yet? He's like Dr. Evil. I learn. Is this extra?
Send it to Klaus!
Can I call agent? My agent Scott Boris says it's extra to learn speech, saying you didn't mean grab pussy.
Let me fuck A-Rod.
This is great. Go ahead.
Dirty and bad stuff.
You feel the host, Billy Bush, was sort of egging him on.
Yes. Yes.
Is that language you had heard him use before?
No, that's
Not
why
the
I
white
was
people.
surprised. Because I said, like, I don't know that person that would talk that way. And that he would say that kind of a stuff in private. I heard many different stuff, boys talk. The boys, the way
Okay,
they
stop.
talk.
Okay, I got to give Anderson Cooper props. Anderson Cooper is about to say the funniest thing of the whole campaign. Okay, she says that this is what like boys talk. Boys like teenage boys talk, and then his response to that, I laughed for about 2 hours. Go ahead.
When they grow up and they want to sometimes show each other, oh, this and that, and talking about the girls. But I was surprised, of course. But I was not surprised that the tape came out. I was not surprised about that.
Why?
Because, as I said, it's many people from the opposite side that they want to damage the campaign. And why now? Why after so many years? Why 3 weeks before the election?
Your husband has said maybe that he felt the Clintons had something to do with it, or the media. What do you think?
Well, it was the media. It was NBC. It was Access Hollywood. It was left wing and left wing media, and you could see that. And
Left wing.
the way it comes out was everything was organized. Every Friday something comes out. So they play, and it was hour after hour. I watched TV, was hour after hour, bashing him, because they want to influence the American people how to vote.
Yeah, we know.
And they're influencing in the wrong way.
The information about your husband's 1995 taxes were released right before the first debate, then this came out just days before the second debate. You're saying that's not a coincidence?
No, that was all organized. Yes, they planned that way, because they don't want to talk. The opposition doesn't want to talk about WikiLeaks and the emails and Benghazi and all the rest of the stuff.
You know how hard I jerked off to her
They
saying
don't wanna talk
WikiLeaks?
about it. So they said, let's do something so we will hurt his campaign.
The Washington Post leaked the tape, and they released the tape. NBC had it they said they had it for several days, and they were reviewing it. But you believe that it was that the NBC could have released it?
What
you
the
think
fuck
they knew
you
about
saying?
it long ago?
Yes, they knew a long time ago, and I'm sure they did. And Washington Post.
Okay,
when
you gotta get to the
did we
point where
hear
it's like
or,
forever. She said something about
read
boys being boys.
any great stories about my husband or about me? the true stuff, the
Jew stuff,
the facts, the real
facts.
stuff. Or New York Times. We never read. They
Guess
they bash.
who runs New York Times?
You feel they've been very unfair.
Yes.
Your husband said that, well, he said he apologized to you after the tape.
This might be
and that you accepted the apology. What was that conversation like? Can you talk about it?
Well, while we talk in private, I will keep it private. And
It's a good time.
he apologized. I accept his apology. I hope the American people will accept it.
I accept his $3 billion.
And it was many, many years ago. He's not the man that that I know. And as I many times said, and he said it as well, it's very hard, especially for him, when he decided to run for presidency, because he did so many stuff in his life. He was on so many shows, and we knew that you know.
You knew he was on so many shows.
Come out. People won't want
was
to
that
go
tape
against
available?
him. But my husband is real. He's raw. He tells it as it is.
That's rehearsed.
He's kind. He's a gentleman. He supports everybody.
He just ran down a list of words.
Women.
He's kind. He's
He
raw.
Did she
encourages
just
them.
lose her
He
accent?
encourages them to
She became Madeline Kahn.
go to the highest level, to achieve the dreams. He employs
she's reading
many,
that.
many women.
To achieve
And,
the dreams.
as you can see,
kind,
it's
raw.
also I see now it's a lot of backlash on the media.
Backlash on
the
the
way
media.
they treated
On the
him.
Nightwing.
He described it as
raw.
locker room talk. To
here-
you, I mean,
here it
you
is.
sort of alluded to that as well. Is that what it is to you, just locker room talk?
Yeah, it's kind of two teenage boys. Actually, they should behave better, right?
He was
not-
59.
Okay, stop it. That's enough. That's what you get the gist. That is, I gotta. If I saw Anderson Cooper right now, I would blow him. I'd be the bottom. No, that is so amazing because you know he's dying to just eviscerate this hooker. Like David Letterman used to do with models. He would get so mad at them and he would just eviscerate them. On NBC, can't do that at CBS. And he was laying in wait. It's like two teenage boys, you know. Well, actually, they were little. They should be. He was 59 years old. He was 59.
He's dying of old age.
Oh. And Billy Bush, what a kiss-ass lapdog. Fucking little pussy nerd. Come on, Donald, can I hang with you, Donald? I want to hang out with you, Donald.
I grab him by the pussy too.
Right, yeah, Jeb, me and Jeb go out.
you ever grab a guy by the
Well, people don't realize, he's in the Bush family. What a little fruit. He got fired. You know what? He's the loser of it all. Well, he's a winner in money, but he had money. That guy's not motivated by money. He wants to be famous. He's got money. He's got oil money. He wanted to be the guy who they go, that's Billy Bush. He's famous.
He's got the Today Show, 3 months ago? In the last couple
Did
of months.
he really?
Yeah.
Bye-bye Today Show. That's yesterday's show. Yeah, he lost everything because he just was loud. Well, what do they want him to say? First of all, it's so terrible to be like, let me just say this. Say he wasn't the Bush family and the guy did need the job. Say he's a typical guy, like Welcome to the Jungle. A guy from Iowa could play football, gets off the bus, blows everybody at the Rainbow. Goes to the Roxy, blows guys for blow. And he finally gets a break. Like what Ryan Seacrest did, basically.
Idol.
Yeah. He learns how to say idol. And now he's made it. Do you know how much Billy Bush must hate Ryan Seacrest? I mean, he's doing exactly what Billy Bush dreams of. He's an android. Is he a chick? Is he not a chick? Is he gay? Is he not gay? Not threatening to broads. Do you understand?
I said Billy Bush out first.
Exactly. Well, he gets to ask chicks what they're wearing. It's my dream job. And, suppose you needed the job. Do you know how much they fucked him over? It's not Trump's fault either. What did they want him to say at NBC? It was his job to get Trump riled up. They were going to a stupid fucking promotional event where Trump was going to be on a soap opera. And they wanted him to be Trump. That's what they wanted. Everybody wanted from Mark fucking Burnett to every executive. And if Billy Bush, I got news for you, if Billy Bush had stood up like every lib on the planet wants him to, every fucking jerk off on CNN, all these surrogates going for Hillary Clinton, like, it's terrible, even for Billy Bush. If he had gotten up and said, Donald, this is wrong. How dare you? How dare you talk about assaulting women? He would have been fired quicker than you could fucking say fired. They would have fired him. Don't discourage him for being a dick, an offensive pig. We want him to be an offensive pig. He did his job.
I agree.
He might have gotten a raise.
I agree.
He might have gotten a raise. But now everybody is it's bonfire of the vanities, man. Everybody's a hypocrite. They're liars. So now NBC does the dance of like we're appalled. Like they didn't know about the tape. Like everybody from Jeff Zucker to fucking everybody who's ever been on a fucking Matthew Perry knew about it. Na. You wanna buy me furniture? Grab my pussy.
Could I grab this pussy any harder?
Exactly. It's I guess he's the loud. He's the big loser. He got fucked. Because he's not going to be famous anymore. Do you realize he's been on TV a long time, Billy Bush? He's interviewed every Kardashian. He might have interviewed a first lady. All he's going to be known for forever is the lapdog who agreed, I want to grab pussy after you buy them furniture. He's going to be known as a womanizer, worse than James Caan, who I believe killed a woman. No. I'm kidding. That's Scott Caan.
Dude, your fucking tweet about Donald Trump and Clinton about the furniture and staining it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that up. I won two. In the last 3 weeks, I've won tweet of the week several times. But this was one of them. I said, now, finally, after the tape came out, finally, I'll share it with the podcast audience. Finally, Donald Trump and Bill Clinton are the perfect combination to be a boyfriend to a girl. Donald Trump could buy a chick furniture, and Bill Clinton can stain it. Hello, 2,000 retweets. Paging Dr. 3,000 likes.